What's up, guys? I'm back here today with another video, and for those of you who don't know, I will be uploading videos every single Friday, and in today's video I will be discussing investment tips as a result of the coronavirus and stocks and industries to watch during this outbreak. So let's get straight to it. So as everyone knows, the stock market has taken a dramatic fall throughout this coronavirus. Many shares have tumbled even tens of percents. My own portfolio, for example, saw its gains nearly half during the early periods of the coronavirus. Stocks that were doing particularly well, like Apple and AMD, dropped nearly 50%. And while they have recovered as of late, it's important to strategize on which stocks will help us gain those lost profits back and overturn even more profit. So, throughout this coronavirus outbreak, I've learned some helpful investing tips about the market, which are going to allow me and you for some short and long-term gains. And obviously, an industry to target during this coronavirus outbreak is the travel and tourism industry. As a result of this pandemic and all the regulations it forced, the travel and tourism industry took a massive hit because people were banned from traveling out of their country, and people were all scared to go on tours like places like cruises or the Bahamas and etc. So, when looking at the travel and tourism industry, it's important to note the amount that the shares of each company have fallen, and to look which companies have the most potential to grow. So for example, if you look at one of the larger but not the largest cruise companies like Carnival was floating around $50 to $60, $40, $50, $60 before the coronavirus outbreak, and now it's somewhere between $10 and $15. So this obviously shows room to grow once everything comes back to normal and people are back to going on Carnival cruises. And keep in mind, this may take 6 months to a year for everything to actually return to normal, but the rewards are there to be reaped. So, but if you do look at Carnival and like in terms of airlines, like domestic American airlines like American Airlines and Delta, etc., when targeting investment, it's highly important to target the biggest of the sharks in the sea of each industry. What I mean by this is, when you look at the cruise industry, the biggest cruise company in America is Royal Caribbean. And Royal Caribbean was floating around, I want to say, $90 to $100 before the coronavirus. Yeah, about $120 actually. And now if you look at it, it's floating between $40 and $45. So the upside is clearly there. And if you look at the airplane industry, Boeing, which is obviously the leading creator of leading manufacturer of airplanes, it's around $140 as of right now, and it was about 6 months ago between $300 and $400, which is a huge jump. So as you can see, when you look at the biggest of the companies in their respective industry, that's where the gains are to be had. So instead of looking at the cheaper stocks like Carnival or Norwegian Cruise Line and like American Airline, it's better to, even though you get less shares, to put your money towards stocks that are actually ruling the industry, because they're going to come back, and they're going to come back way stronger than the smaller fishes in the pond. So if you take, for example, the stimulus check, which many of you may have received or will receive, if you take about like half of that, which could be like $600 to $700, and put it toward investing, and let's say you bought as like $600 worth of Boeing and Delta, or Boeing and Royal Caribbean stocks in like 6 to 12 months, that money should easily be tripled, because once the industry returns to normal, the returns will obviously be huge, exponential. But keep in mind with Boeing specifically, which is a stock I actually highly recommend, they did have a huge scandal with their airplanes, and they had to stop the production of, I think, one of them because the autopilot wasn't working in the plane or something like that. But when they do create their airplane, obviously it'll still be used, but this could mean a longer time of waiting. Additionally, as you look towards investing, it's important to be cautious of going all in on one industry. Like you could put all your money towards Delta, American Airlines, and United. And if the industry doesn't recover fast enough, you could be missing out on some returns that you would previously could have maximized on. So all in all, what I recommend is to target each industry with one or two stocks. So you look at the airlines, you look for United or Delta rather than American, because United and Delta are international airlines, while American is exclusively domestic. So when they do recover, the international airlines, your returns will be far higher than just the domestic airline. And then for the cruise stocks, you look for Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Line, or Carnival, but most importantly Royal Caribbean, because that's the leading shark in the sea, as I said before. And then for obviously airplane manufacturers, you look at Boeing, which is really the biggest one, and yeah, that's where you're going to get your returns. And as for the other stocks which have been impacted by the coronavirus, most of them have recovered, like T-Mobile, AMD, Apple. Blue chip stocks, or stocks that many people were highlighting as buys, have all returned to like middle of the range as their high for the past year. Like Apple is around 320 now. AMD is, I think, 55, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 54.65. And T-Mobile is, floating back around $95 to $100, which is what it was at before the coronavirus. So as I cap this video off, I'm just going to reiterate that it's highly important to look at the travel and tourism industry or other industries which have been impacted by the coronavirus, and to target the biggest fishes in the sea while looking at investment. And so this is going to cap off today's video. And if you enjoyed the video, if you learned a lot from the video, if you made some money from the video, you gotta make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below about future ideas or other tips I could give you. You could, like, some potential ideas could be like investing on a budget, so giving me like $1,000 of play money, taking a couple weeks, seeing how much money we can make off that, stuff like that. And make sure you do turn the notifications on, watch the videos when they come out, because they're going to make you some money. And thanks for watching.